I would like to welcome everyone out tonight. For those of you who are new, or those of you who I haven't talked with yet, I'm Dr. Arnold. I'm a health coach with Take Shape for Life, and I'm glad that you're here. Do we have any new people tonight? Welcome. We're glad you're here. I know we have a few of our new people from last week back here, so we didn't scare you away too badly. So welcome back. What we'd like to do real quick is just a real brief, after Rita stops talking.
She didn't even hear you.
I know Rita. I would not embarrass everyone else that badly. So Rita knows I love her to death. So what we do typically to start is just a brief introduction. What we'd like to do is just first name. If you're on the Take Shape for Life program, losing weight, just first name and how much you've lost, not how long it's taking you to lose it, or any of those other things that I have to say, results not typical after you say, how long it took you to lose your weight. So if you are at your goal weight, we really want to know how long you've been able to keep your weight off. And then you can also throw in something important like how many medications you're off, something that you're able to do now that you couldn't when you were struggling with your health. So I'll get started. My name's Dr. Arnold. I lost 8 pounds 7 years ago. I know that's nothing to be impressed with, but Melanie will impress you here next.
Melanie, I've lost 115 pounds. Been able to keep it off a year, probably 18 months. Got off my high blood pressure medicine, and I can run now.
You're training for a 5K right now.
Yes. I don't think
awesome.
I could run.
We're not saying you have to train for a 5K. We're just saying she can, and because she wants to. Nobody's forcing her. So, great job.
My name's Heidi. I don't know. I didn't weigh myself, but I just started Sunday. So today's my third day.
Third day in.
And yeah.
So about to get into that place where you're starting to use fat as an energy source.
Yeah.
The energy maybe picking up a little bit today.
I feel better today than yesterday.
Yes, that's typical. Tomorrow will be even better.
Yeah, today I can do it.
Good. Yes.
So each day, yeah, just reading and going. I can do
That's it. Just focus. Get through the first 3 or 4 days, and then it gets a lot easier. So good job. Good job. Welcome.
Thank you.
Shannon, and I've lost 13 pounds.
Good job. Good job. Way to go, Shannon. Rita.
Well, I took up 43 and I've kept it off 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Awesome job. Tina?
Tina and 10 plus pounds.
Good.
I've lost 12 pounds in 2 weeks.
Good job. Results not typical. Helen?
I'm Helen. I've lost 75 pounds in 4 years. Off 8 medications.
8 medications. I love that. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm Curtis. I've lost 30 pounds and kept it off for 3 years.
3 years. I think as you see a lot of the people in here who've kept their weight off for years, we're not there. There is no place to get to. We're still on our journey to create health. There's still things that we are working on ourselves. But you know what? It's good to be at your goal weight while you're working on the other things. And it might be little things like learning how to sleep better, or maybe cleaning up our diet a little bit, or reducing inflammation, or running a 5K. So there's lots of things. Just remember, that's a mindset. A lot of people who want to lose weight have the mindset, it's the dieter's mindset, that once I get to a number on the scale, I'm done, right? And we can go celebrate. We celebrate with the wrong things. We celebrate far too long and far too often, and then we're right back to where we started, right? So this is about the journey to optimal health. It's not a destination, it's the journey, it's the path, is what we're talking about here. So,
I'm Sally. Is it me?
Yes.
Sally, and I lost 27 pounds, and it's been, 10 months now.
Since you've kept it off?
Yes, yeah.
Great job. Great job.
I'm Sandy, and I'm a celebrator, so I came here to keep it off because I lost, last time I lost about 25 pounds.
Great.
And then I kept up.
Yeah.
And then I celebrated.
You're not the only person.
So I want to learn a little focus in this school.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we're glad you're here. This is great.
My name's Amanda, and I'm just about to start.
Food's on the way?
Yep.
Awesome. En route. That's
Yep.
exciting. Well, we're glad you're here and hope to see less of you here in the future.
Thank you.
You bet.
My name's Dana. I've been on the program a week and I lost almost 6 pounds.
Results not typical. Congratulations, Dana. Awesome job. Behind you.
My name is Joe, and I've lost 4 pounds.
Great job, Joe. We're glad you're here. Is this your first time here?
No, I've been here a couple of times.
Okay. First time I've seen you then. Glad you're here.
Sean, I've lost 36 pounds.
I was gonna say we're seeing less and less of you. You're looking great. Good job.
And I'm Sean's Betty. I'm Kristen, and I lost 5 pounds, which is not really impressive, but I learned to eat because I would starve myself. And I feel much better, have a lot of energy, and results are typical. It's not one.
Yeah, they are. They are. In the back.
Rosemary, and I've lost 5 pounds.
Good job, Rosemary. Another one of our newbies here. We're glad you're here. Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. I lost 50 pounds about 2.5 years ago and started a new exercise program in January, and I'm actually gaining weight now, but it's positive. It's more muscle than the bad stuff. So I'm on a new part of my journey in my.
And that's actually one thing that we teach people is, you get to a healthy weight, and then ideally you do put a few pounds of lean muscle on because it makes it easier to keep the weight off. We'll explain in weeks 6 and 7 why that is of this program. But as a chiropractor, it also helps with balance. It helps with circulation. There's so many benefits to being just a little bit stronger, a little bit healthier. So that's actually one thing that we have as a goal for everybody is to get to the point where you can get a little bit stronger and improve your musculoskeletal system. Tom.
Lost 55 pounds, and I've reached my goal weight in transition.
In transition right now. And 55 pounds wasn't your original goal, was it?
No, not this past winter, but the winter before I was 250 plus, and this morning I was 174. And I lost a little before I got here, but the weight wasn't in the beginning the weight was a big deal. Right now the big deal is my energy and my focus and just looking forward to better health. It's quite a program.
Looking forward to a sheep hunt this fall, right?
Well, whenever I get drawn.
That's right. Cross our fingers.
Yeah.
Leilani.
And I've lost 30 pounds, and I've kept it off since Christmas. And I was able to walk up the middle of the stairs today, all the way up instead of halfway, and pulling myself up on them. So
Isn't it? You know what? And it's the little things sometimes that are just like, I didn't realize I couldn't do that, or it's those little celebrations that actually become big things. Overall, that's what being healthy is. It's being able to do those things because physically you can, right? So, and then Chris in the back.
Lost 85 pounds, and that was 4.5 years ago. Actually, next month will be my 5-year celebration for being in the program.
Awesome. Great job. Well, congratulations for all of you who are on this journey, wherever you're at on the journey, because we're all on the journey. Just because some of us have reached our goal weight and some of us haven't yet, doesn't mean that we're not all on the same journey. We are. And that's to improve our health. So today, we're going to be covering week 1 of our 12-week Habits of Health system. So perfect timing for our new people. Hi, Sue. It's good to see you. So you can start with us with week 1. And this 12-week program really is designed to help us, especially if you're on your path to reaching a healthy weight, it's really designed to help you learn how to keep it off permanently. And not just get to that healthy weight, but learn how to create optimal health. Optimal health is a lot different than a number on the scale, right? Skinny is not necessarily healthy. For Kristen and myself, we're the low-end losers here. 5 pounds and 8 pounds. We both very, very active before using the program. Kristen taught a lot of the classes at the gym, and I worked out quite a bit. I know it doesn't show very well, but I did, I promise. But we still had some weight that we needed to lose, but it wasn't about losing the weight for us. It really was about creating health. Even though we worked out all the time, we weren't really that healthy. We've learned quite a bit about what health really is, and that's what these classes are designed to teach. So these first few weeks, we're really going to talk about what's between here, the mental part. Now we have a couple different resources. Oh, hold on. Okay, we didn't have that slide into this one yet. So here's our resources. We have what's called our Habits of Health books. We have Dr. Anderson's book, and we have a workbook. So for those of you who have your books, go ahead and hold those up. Oh, here we go. See, Melanie has put them into spiral notebooks. She's much more prepared than I would be. And these are our textbooks. This is the important information that we use. Dr. Anderson has written these books and put them together in such a way that it becomes easy to learn these lifestyle changes to support our long-term health. So that's what this is all about, is these books. There's a couple of websites that provide some additional tips for you. Dr. Anderson's website, if you want to write this down, it's are they? Oh, somebody switched them around for me. It was probably me, and I just don't remember. So, Dr. Anderson's website is right here, habitsofhealth.net. And then we have a wonderful online food journal called mytsfl.com. And this is one of those great tools. You can log your meals. So if you're new to the program, if you've got a smartphone, they're smarter than I am, you can log your meals, log your water, log your exercise right from the safety of your mobile device. Isn't that awesome? Technology is incredible. So these are free services for our systems for you to utilize. There's a lot of great stuff in here, and I would really recommend that you take advantage of this. So today what we're going to do is we're really going to start talking about these habits that we want to create. Okay, so I'm going to back up a couple slides here. So what is a habit? Habit is something that can be both bad or good. According to the dictionary here, a recurrent, often unconscious pattern of behavior that is acquired through frequent repetition. How many of you guys have driven home from work and don't remember anything about the drive? You're suddenly in your driveway. A little scary that there's so many of us out there on the road doing that, but you have that drive so ingrained you cannot remember what happened in between that. You're on autopilot, right? Now, unfortunately, most of America, their autopilot behaviors are unhealthy behaviors, right? It's mowing down the wrong things, it's not exercising, not sleeping well, having overstressed lifestyles. Those are habits that they have, that they don't even think about doing on a daily basis. They just happen. How many of you guys have found yourself, you got caught in that vicious cycle? And all of a sudden one day it's just like, oh my gosh, what in the heck am I doing? How did I get here? Well, we know how we got here, but we just unconsciously got there, right? So what we want to do is we really want to start talking about creating those healthy habits. Now this riddle here is great. It says, I am your constant companion, I'm your greatest helper or your heaviest burden. I will push you onward or drag you down to failure. I'm completely at your command. Half the things you do, you might just as well turn over to me, and I will be able to do them quickly and correctly. I am easily managed, you must merely be firm with me. Show me exactly how you want something done, and after a few lessons, I will do it automatically. I am the servant of all great men, and alas, of all failures as well. Those who are great, I have made great. Those who are failures, I have made failures. I'm not a machine, though I work with all the precision of a machine, plus the intelligence of a man. You may run me for profit or run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Take me, train me, be firm with me, and I will put the world at your feet. Be easy with me, and I will destroy you. Who am I? Habit. So isn't that true? Our habits create who we are or who we're going to be, right? The nice thing is we can change habits. So that's what we're really going to be talking about today. So I love this picture here because, sometimes habits become so ingrained that it's kind of like us in this car in those deep ruts. Don't you ever feel like you're just stuck in that rut? You're just going along. All you have to do is kind of mash the gas a little bit. You don't even have to steer the car. It's just going. And that's what happens. We get into these patterns where we don't even really consciously think about what we're doing. We just react. And that's kind of what this is talking about here. A lot of people get to the point where, let me ask you this. You don't have to raise your hand if you don't want to, but how many of you guys got into the habit of after work, you come home, you eat, you go sit down and watch TV, and there's always something there to munch on? And you're kind of munching and grazing the rest of the night. Yeah, it's easy, right? And it started by sitting down watching TV, and you were hungry, so you went and you got something, a bag of chips, a box of cookies, something like that. And of course, we don't just eat one or two, right? We eat till we get to the bottom. And we do that over and over and over again to the point that now, rather than watch TV, we get hungry, we go look for the bowl of chips and we eat. Now it's all of a sudden watch TV is associated with eating chips. Think about the phrase movie theater. Exactly. How many of you are salivating for popcorn right now? Honestly, right? What happens is we train our senses actually can get stuck in those habits. Think about like family activities. How many of you associate a family activity with your favorite food or favorite junk food? Or, when I go to the family reunion, we have this. Or something like that. I know people who have, they have family get-togethers and they name them after foods. Friday night, pizza night. So every Friday night is pizza night. It's just, and so we're creating that association. And so, we got to be careful with those things, that we get into the habit where it becomes a mindless thing. Now, if you're consciously choosing to do that and have something that's not necessarily healthy once a week, but the rest of the time you're eating healthy, well, that's okay. It's perfectly okay to do that. We're not saying that you never should eat pizza again in your life or something unhealthy. What we're saying is don't make unhealthy things habits. Be aware of them. So we're going to talk about how to break this. So changing your habits, first of all, a lot of people I think are afraid of change. How many of you guys find change scary? How many of you guys thought before going on the program that, I don't know, this is really a big commitment here and I'm just not sure if I'm ready for it? How many of you guys thought about that?
I was ready for 25 pounds.
You were ready for 25 pounds. Of course, you lost a whole lot more than 25 pounds, right? Sometimes, that's actually one of the biggest fears that Americans have is the fear of change and the fear of public speaking, which I suffer from greatly. You'd never know it, though. I'm just kidding, I don't. But fear of change. Now, think about this. Change is not difficult. It's just different. So when we start to have that mindset, it's just different than what I'm doing right now. It's okay. It starts to take some of the fear away from change. We're afraid of the unknown, aren't we? We're afraid of something that is hard. How many of your kids say, I can't do it, it's too hard, before they even try it? Oh, there's nothing that drives me nuts more than that. My kids know, do not ever say that at my house. If you try hard and can't do it, I'm just fine with that, because you tried hard. But sometimes we fail, and fail several times. We don't like failing. It doesn't feel good to fail, right? Because we don't have the mindset that every time we fail, we're closer to success. You know, that's okay. So we just try to put failure, change, all those things out of our mindset. We don't want to go down that road, and we like our little rut that we're in. We're used to it. We know it. You know, we don't have to get outside of our comfort zone when we're in our rut. So this is really what's important. Change is not difficult. So the 4 things that we really want you to start doing with learning how to change your habits is, the first thing is identify your foundational choices that support optimal health. Then implement a plan to make the change. So what do you hold really important? What are the important things in your life? You really have to have a very vivid visual picture of that. And I know a lot of you guys have heard me tell the story about when I was out fly fishing, but I'm going to tell it again for those of you who haven't heard it. Because I think this is really important. You need to know why you're doing this program. Because is doing the program easy? It's not easy. It's simple. Making changes are not easy. They're simple to do. They're not difficult. But we do have to make some changes, right? And everyone is going to hit a speed bump. And remember, there's 2 reasons why people stop dieting. They either reach their goal weight or they forget why they started in the first place. And they just stop. Right? Because if you know why, and your why is strong enough, it doesn't matter if you're eating bark chips 6 times a day. You'll do it and you'll lose your weight because your why is strong enough, right? Luckily, these are not bark chips. They're much better than bark chips. Unfortunately, I know. So you got to have your why. So mine is a very vivid picture that I have in my mind. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was out fly fishing on the South Fork of the Boise, and this truck comes down the road into the canyon. 2 guys get out. The younger one went down the river to fish, and the older one stayed kind of in the same area that I was at. And he'd fly fish for a little bit, and then he went up and he'd read his book, and he'd come out and fish, and he'd go up and eat a sandwich, and he took a nap. And I got to talking to him. He was 92 years old, and he drove the truck down. And he was doing what he wanted to do because he could. I still remember how the water smelled. I still remember his ratty folding chair that he sat in. I remember everything about that situation. I smell the water still. That's a little weird and sick, I know. But that's my disease. I've got the sickness of fly fishing. And, you know, if you have it, you'll understand that. But, you know, you need to have something that is that vivid. I think you really do, because unless you do, when you hit that speed bump or you're faced with that double mocha maple chocolate cake or whatever your favorite thing is, that just came to me, it was in a book my kids have on a dinosaur, something like that. Anyway, it sounded yummy anyway. When you're faced with that thing you really want and you don't remember why you started, are you going to give in if you don't remember why? You're going to give in. You're going to eat whatever it is there. Or you're not going to eat your meals on time. Or you're not going to exercise. Or you're not going to drink your water. You're not going to do the thing that is harder, right? Is having healthy habits harder or having unhealthy habits harder? It's the healthy ones that are harder, right? Because we've just ingrained those unhealthy ones into our lifestyle. I think those are a lot easier to adapt to, unhealthy habits, than healthy habits. We have to work at the healthy ones, I think, quite a bit. So you've got to have that vision. You've got to make a plan. Being on the 5-in-1 plan, it's okay, I forgot to tell everyone, silence your phones, keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. That's a good reminder for everyone else to silence their phones, except for the people on the internet. They don't have to silence their phones. The next one is become aware of the daily choices you make that don't support health. Did you know that if you were to just speak specifically about balancing calories, to put 10 pounds a year on, you would only have to eat an excess of 100 calories a day. So 100 calories extra a day would lead to 10 extra pounds a year. First of all, I'm not a proponent of balancing calories in and calories out, because that's just a ridiculous scenario. That's 7 walnuts. That's like half of a bite of a Krispy Kreme donut, right? And nobody eats half a bite of a Krispy Kreme donut. So, in other words, it's really difficult to balance calories in and calories out. I'm only telling you that because I was talking to one of my clients about 2 years ago, and she calls me up one day and she goes, "I found my 100 calories." What are you talking about? She said, when I make my kids' plates, she had 4 kids, I take 2 or 3 bites off of every one of their plates, and then I make my plate. And I wanted to say, well, that's more than 100 calories. But I didn't. But it's things like that. She said, I wasn't even aware I was doing that. And it was just like this big aha moment for her that she was doing one of those things. And so that's one of the hardest things, is to really start to analyze our day and look for those habits that are unhealthy. It might be things that we eat, the quantity of the food. We've already identified the fact that we all have started with that bowl of ice cream, or I should say half-gallon bucket of ice cream, or the bag of chips, or the box of cookies, not intending to eat the whole thing, but we do, right? I mean, we've all been there. That's unconsciously doing something that we want to avoid. So we want to become more aware of the things. Awareness is really the first step to personal responsibility, right? We're taking responsibility for our own health here, which I think is really important for us to do. So start to look for those things. And it might be that, you know what, I don't do anything as far as exercise is concerned. That might be one of the first things. For me, actually, one of the things that I'm working on is sleeping better. And I just automatically turn on the TV before I go to bed. And that is not a habit that helps me sleep better at night. So, I mean, those are automatic things that don't support my decision to be healthy. That's the things that we want to look at. What are the automatic things that you do without even thinking about that maybe are habits of disease, or at least don't support habits of health? Start to write those things down and identify those things. Think long term. Get past the thought of, if I could only lose X amount of pounds. Because when you think short term, there's lots of big, nasty speed bumps that get in the way. When you think long term, the speed bumps actually shrink quite a bit. They'll still be there, but because you have a long-term purpose in mind. So mine is, I want to go fly fishing when I'm 92 and drive the truck down into the canyon. I have a couple years to go before I get there. I'm about 54. So I'm trying to think long-term here, right? But I'm doing things today to allow me to do those things when I'm 92. You see what I mean? That's kind of the mindset we want to have. So when we think long-term, at that point, does it really matter if we don't like the lemon meringue Crunch bars as much as some of the other ones?
No, because you only have 7 of them, and then you don't have to buy them anymore.
Exactly. Well, that's a great point. Sometimes we dwell on something so much, it's like, you know, my sister, bless her heart, she's not watching this, so I can tell you this. She tried the oatmeal and didn't put enough water in it, so it came out like mortar, right? You can build a house with it. And she said, I'm not going to do anything else. And for a long time, she didn't eat another MetaFast meal. She's just like, you're just silly. Come on. I mean, really. But she held on to that, right? She was really thinking very short term, losing the weight really quickly, and that's all that mattered to her. It was really a dieter's mindset. Get rid of that and think about long-term health, because then she would have just been like, oh, no big deal, I've got other ones, and I'll just make it happen so I can get to where I need to go. So start to change that mindset, and then create a micro environment of health. That's what we'll talk about over the next 12 weeks, is all these little things that we're going to do to create this environment of being healthy. Not just cleaning out the pantry, but our whole house, at work, our friends and family, yes, our mindset, get the cobwebs. I'm not talking about throwing your friends and family who aren't healthy out. Because we all, I mean, you know, with 70% of Americans, I mean, unhealthy, we can all hang out together, right? We'll all be friends. So that's what we're going to be covering here. So right now, this is really the path of health for most Americans. Right here, this is where we all start out, we're born. Most of us, most newborns are, the epitome of health. They're great. Few little issues, but we find that as we go along and our habits start to change, we're eating the wrong things, we're not moving right, we start to move from optimal health and we start to have poor energy. And we're not sleeping very well, and we're overly stressed, and we can't deal with it very well. And so we go to our doctor, and he says, so, you know what? You've got high blood pressure. You've got high cholesterol. I've got just the thing for you. And he writes us a prescription, and which is unfortunately a product of the medical delivery system right now, not a product of that doctor. They don't have time anymore to educate like they used to. I mean, we're talking medical doctors and chiropractors are all under the same roof there. They just do what they can to do the best in the short amount of time they can, rather than spend the time we used to educate people properly. And then we find that we continue to get more and more healthy, and we get down here into this sick category where we have a diagnosed disease like diabetes or high blood pressure or other things, right? Heart disease. So what we want to do, what we're seeing is that this current health path is shifting to the left, where we have this generation of children are projected to have a shorter life expectancy for the first time than their parents. What we want to do is we want to move this path to the right and keep us in optimal health for a long period of time. We can live to 150 years old. We have the medical technology to do that. I know you guys are thinking, why in the world would I want to live? I don't want to, next 5 years that's hard to handle that, let alone 100 and whatever years. So, but you know what? If you felt good and you could do the things and you had an active, happy lifestyle, wouldn't you want to be around? I would, because I would want to be an example for my kids and grandkids and great-grandkids and great-great-grandkids. They're like, hey, look at Grandpa Arnold. He's running another marathon. He's 137. What's he doing? Well, sit down. He'll talk to you for days on end. That's what I want to do. So that's what we can do. Dr. Anderson says he wants to show up at 104, late for his funeral, come sliding in sideways just as they dump the dirt on him. Living a highly active lifestyle right till the very end, right? That sounds pretty good to me. It's about the quality, not necessarily the quantity. It's about the quality of our life. If your quality hasn't been so great lately, you're in the right place for that. We're going to help with that. I already covered this here. The thing that I really like to point out to people, it is not too late. It is never too late. It's only too late when someone is reading your eulogy, right? So you're here, and you can make changes to create a healthier, better lifestyle. And that's what I like. We might not all be running 5Ks or marathons. Maybe because of our past health history, we're not going to be able to do that. But you know what? We all can have better energy. We all can sleep better. We all can feel better. We all can feel better about ourselves too. Those are all things that can happen. So that's all possible here. Now, the habits of health that we're really going to be covering during this 12-week program, the habits of healthy eating, that's going to be weeks 4, 5, and 6. The habits of healthy movement, weeks 7 and 8. Strategic behavioral habits, so basically having a plan. We're going to talk about that throughout this whole thing. The habits of support through vitaminerals, that's week 12. The habits of reducing inflammation, that's week 11. Habits of good sleep. We should put this in order so that I don't have to jump all over the place, right?
Yeah.
That's week 9, good sleep. The habits of creating a positive environment, that's 10. And support is 10 also. So these are all things that we're going to be covering. And you might look at those and think, and right now you might think, oh, I really want to work on this one right here. But you're going to get to the point where you're going to do really well with that one. And then it's time to find the next one that you want to work on. Can I see your book again real quick? What I'd like you each, how many of you guys have taken the health assessment in chapter 5 of Dr. Anderson's book? A lot of us. How many of you guys have taken it in the last 3 months? Good, some of us. Chapter 5 in Dr. Anderson's book. If you have not taken it in the last 3 months, will you do me a favor and go home in the next day or two and retake this? What it does is it's going to give you a health assessment. And it's going to talk to you about a lot more than just what are you eating and are you exercising. It even asks if you have pets. What do pets have to do with being healthy? Actually, a lot. Right. I'm not saying everyone go buy dogs or something. Chickens are on sale at Zamzo's right across the way there. I mean, it's spring. You can buy a couple bucks, and then it's a healthy meal at the end of your relationship. Sorry. You can't do that with your dog, though, right?
No. You're in Korea.
In Korea, you can, right. It's on the website as well. There's a PDF. Actually, if you go to your health coach's website, you can take the health assessment off there, and it'll do it for you. So I would really recommend that you take that. I take it frequently because there's always something else that I'm working on. So I teach almost probably, I'd say, once a month, once every other month, I teach a continuing education class to doctors on the obesity epidemic, and I have them all take that assessment. So I'm taking it all the time, and I'm always going, gotta work on that. Or else I'm saying, cursing my parents because my genetics are not so great. You know, it's their fault. My score's not better. So, and then this is the other thing that I think is really, really important for us all to understand. Making a mistake is not the end of the world. Okay? If you fall off the bandwagon and you eat whatever that exciting, fun, tasteful thing is, do not fall all the way off and stop. Okay? Because the reality is, if I go out tonight and eat 3 cheeseburgers with fries and a super duper size Coke, am I going to be diabetic tomorrow or have heart disease? I probably will be throwing up. You're right. I can guarantee that'll actually happen. I will be miserable, but I'm not going to have a disease associated with our obesity, right? I'm not going to have one of those. So if you make a mistake once, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, don't stop the journey because you make a mistake. Because I promise you, every one of us will make a mistake on the path. That is okay. What's not okay is if you make a mistake and you stop. That is not okay. Also, having 1 MetaFast meal, drinking 1 glass of water, and doing 10 push-ups will not give you health. You have to do those things repeatedly over time. Now what's going to happen is, so our habits compounded over time move us either toward health or toward disease. There is no point of stasis. There's no balancing point where you don't have to think about it anymore. You're moving one way or the other. So once you get to your goal weight and you're done with the 5-in-1 program and you're learning how to eat healthy and how to move more, if the majority of your choices are healthy and you have that occasional chocolate chip cookie dessert, it's okay. Because the majority of your choices are moving you here. One choice isn't going to make you switch to the other side, is it? So just know that. But it's important to wait till you get to your goal weight before you start throwing those chocolate chip cookies in. Okay? Get there first. Just do that. Just do that part. Get to your goal weight because your body will appreciate you for it. It's a lot harder to be doing the program, fall off, takes 3 days to get back into fat burning, do the program, fall off, takes 3 days to get back in. And think about this. If it takes 3 days to get back into fat burning and you're eating 5 meals a day, how much does it cost you to get back into fat burning? About $35? So next time you have that chocolate cake in front of you, just go, is this a $35 piece of cake? I mean, I'm cheap.
$35 piece of a bite.
Yeah, a bite of cake, right.
It might be a little higher starting April 1st.
I actually took that into consideration already. Yes.
I'm trying to make it worse.
Yes.
Trying to help out.
Yeah. So, it's not worth it, right? Now, one of the things that Dr. Anderson says as far as optimal health is it's different for everyone. Optimal health is the highest degree of health that's possible for you to achieve. So we're all at different places. We're all different. We've all had different experiences, issues in the past. So my idea of health is not going to be the same as yours, and that's okay. You just want to find the highest degree of health you can achieve for you, for where you're at in your life. So ways to break the chain. This is a great thing to do. It's our stop, challenge, and choose method. Now, I don't know if any of you guys hear the weekly radio show that we do here on, I think, KBOI. I know Tom and Leilani do. That's how they heard about us. We do it. We teach a weekly radio show on, basically it's in conjunction with these classes. So actually this Saturday and Sunday, you'll hear recordings on KBOI where we teach week 1. So we record it today and it goes out on the weekend. And one of the co-hosts is Jeffy Fisher from the Glenn Beck Show. And I promise just about every class, his quote is, choices have consequences. He says it all the time. And isn't that the truth? I mean, I try to teach my kids that. You know, you can make the choices. You can't choose the consequences. My kids hate it when I say that too, because that means they just got punished for something and they didn't get to choose their punishment. So choices have consequences. This is part of the personal responsibility and being aware of our choices. It's really just expanding our awareness here. So when we're in a situation, we want to stop and recognize, you know what? That is a piece of chocolate cake sitting in front of me. I've just become aware of that. Challenge yourself. Do I really want this? Is it worth $35? Or really you want to think about, why are you wanting to get healthy in the first place? Is derailing myself from the program for a few days worth that? Or is my health more important than having this? Because I promise you, there will be chocolate cake when you get done with the program. Somewhere on this earth, there will be chocolate cake. And you can find it. Or you can have the brownie. Right, exactly. So, should I wait? Challenge that decision. Do I really want to have that? Or do I want to just focus on what I really want right now until I get there? And then make a decision. Choose. And be okay with that decision because you made a conscious decision. Now, if you find that you're making the wrong decision too many times, too often, maybe your why is not good enough, or big enough, or strong enough. Maybe you need to reevaluate that. So, in other words, stop, challenge, and choose is going to help you stay on track when you have those speed bumps come up. Other ways to harness, in addition to the stop, challenge, and choose. Make time your ally. Plan your day. Where do we get in trouble most of the time? End of the day. On weekends when we don't have a schedule. For you soccer moms out there, you're driving people 800 directions and someone says, I'm hungry, and you realize, I haven't eaten in like 5 hours. Everybody's hungry all of a sudden, so what do? You pull through a fast food lane, right? So if you make time your ally and you plan ahead and you've got something healthy in the car with you, whether it's your MetaFast meals because you're on the program, or you've got, cut up apples and healthy snacks for the kids with your water bottles in there, you're already prepared. Be prepared. Know ahead what you're going to do. I mean, it only takes a couple minutes to plan your day and say, okay, here's the areas where I might get in trouble. I need to make sure I'm prepared for that area, right? That's an easy thing to do. Avoid peer pressure and toxic environments. If your friends and family don't support your decision to be healthy, I'm not saying have a friendship divorce or a family divorce. I'm just saying maybe hang around with other people a little more often who do support that decision until your family comes around. It'd be nice if they came with you on this journey, because it's a lot easier when you have people to do it. That's why we have these group sessions, because don't you feel a little bit more safe here rather than if it was me just talking to you and like blaring down on you? That's why I try to move my eyes and I'm not staring at one person all at the same time. I'll stare at Curtis. He doesn't mind. He likes it. Keep a journal. that is the tsfl.com. It's a food journal. I had a lady once struggling with weight loss. She said, will you look at my journal, please? I'm not losing weight. I'm getting frustrated. What do I need to do? So I looked at her journal. It was sad. It really was. She logged everything, though, including the candy, the sodas, the alcohol, the chocolate cake. She might have been doing 2 meals a day, MetaFast, maybe one other not so healthy meal, but she ate 6 times a day. It just wasn't MetaFast. And so I really try to practice the, you sandwich the critique with good things on each side. Oh, that was so hard. I was like, well, it looks like you have at least a MetaFast meal each day. All these things, you shouldn't do the and it looks like occasionally you drink water. And she said, oh, you mean I'm not losing weight because I'm just not doing the program? I said, yeah. She said, oh, okay. She didn't finish losing her weight because she didn't have her why. But have a journal. You'll be surprised. Anytime you put something in your mouth, usually you have your phone in the other hand anyway, right? So you can just log it. It's great. Exchange a negative for a positive. If you focus on negative things, what are you going to get in your life? You're going to get more of it, aren't you? Don't be a Debbie Downer when it comes to your health. Think positively. You guys are all in the right place, and great things are going to happen to your health. You guys are all going to be those superstar before and after pictures. Just stick to it, and you will. You will. Avoid giving the bad habit your energy. That's the same thing here. And then create barriers to the habits of disease. Avoid them, right? Don't go places where it's you don't have the willpower to resist. Even if it's, maybe mom's house for Sunday dinner. If she doesn't support your decision and change some of the things that are available, maybe you need to invite her to your house where you know what's going to be on the table. Or it might be other activities, right? Maybe you avoid the break room on Fridays when it's potluck day. Just don't go in there. Put the barriers up, right? So those are all things that we want to do to harness our habits. It's not an easy thing. And it takes time. And we're not asking you to change all these things overnight because heavens knows we've had a lifetime to build up all these other bad habits, right? That have put us where we don't want to be. So just think about the little things. Start to write down your little aha things. I take 2 bites off every one of my kids' plates, and I'm going to stop that. That's the first thing I'm going to recognize I was doing, and I'm going to eliminate that. What's the next one? Little steps. We have plenty of time. Stick to the program. Listen to your health coach, and you guys will be successful. I really believe that. I've seen thousands of people get healthy with this program. And the people who don't invest in themselves are the only ones who don't have success. So just follow the program. You don't have to believe that it's going to work. I believe for you, so that's all that only one of us needs to. I got it covered. You guys just do the program, you'll get there. That's what I love about this. It really is that simple. I hope that you guys continue to come out. Next week we're going to talk more about what motivates us to make those choices. It's really probably one of my most favorite weeks to talk because I think that is so important. It's really what sets up the yo-yo pattern is what is actually motivating you. And you can see here that we have extra empty seats. Bring your friends. Drag a friend with you, right? Because anyone who wants to get healthy, whether they are using our program or not, they're welcome to come. We want to fill this place. We got room for more chairs in the back. We can put people out in the hall. I talk loud, so we got lots of room. We can broadcast from another room. No, we want to help as many people as we can. We have a goal to create a healthy America, and that's really what we want to do. So thank you guys for coming. So anyway, yes.
So like cappuccino and the cocoa, you're supposed to heat them, cook them in the microwave?
Well, you don't have to. I have some people.
That's my question.
No, you don't have to. You're not killing something by heating it up, and you have to do that. No, I have a lot of people who just like the hot chocolate, especially.
Cappuccino.
Yeah, just make it as a cold cappuccino or a cold hot chocolate, frosty or something like that. Yeah, I think the hot chocolate is really good as a slushie. I think it's a little better than the Dutch chocolate. I like that a little better cold. So no, you don't. Yeah, great question.
Put mine in coffee.
Yeah, a lot of people will take the hot chocolate and dump it in their black coffee and make it a like a crappuccino or whatever they're called. Sorry.
Question.
Yes, question here.
So, is every meal as healthy as the other meal? So you
Great
could have
question.
5 cappuccinos?
That's a great question. So the question was, is every meal as healthy as the other meals? When you look at the nutritional footprint of every meal, they're roughly 100 calories. They all have between 11 and 14 grams of protein, 24 vitamins and minerals. They're all low sugar, all low fat. They're really the same. So yes, you could have 5 cappuccinos. I did do 3 days straight of chocolate pudding.
See, I wouldn't.
And I don't regret it at all.
So I'm not thinking I'm not missing my vitamins or my fruits and vegetables.
Exactly. You are getting everything you need in each meal. In fact, 3 of the meals gives you all the recommended daily allowance or recommended daily amount of vitamins and minerals that you need. So it doesn't matter if you mix it up or if you just eat one thing. I think one of our health coaches, Roger, who lost almost 60 pounds, he did a variety of things the first month and found most of the stuff he didn't like. He almost did the whole rest of his weight loss, like 45 pounds, on the Dutch chocolate shake. That's about all he did. And I would get bored with that, obviously, but he was focused on getting healthy, and it didn't matter to him that he was having a variety of things.
Right.
So yes, it doesn't matter. You could do one thing the whole time and lose your weight. Great question. One more question.
But you still need your lean and green.
Yes, you do still need your lean and green. Yes. Yeah. Does anyone have one last question that I can answer? Okay, thank you guys for being here. We sure appreciate it.